Bird watching comes easily to those who wait, or does it?
We've seen pretty monumental declines, particularly in migrant birds. Birds that go down to the neotropics, that nest in the boreal forests of Canada.
Among the experts keeping track, Evan Dalton and his team at Manomet, a nonprofit conservation organization in Plymouth.
We're certainly along the coast, and in the fall that means that we catch a lot of young birds going down the coast. We've got a lovely bird. This is a gray catbird.
Since the mid-1960s, Manomet has banded 250,000 songbirds. They use mist nets to safely catch the birds before bringing them to a banding lab.
So as the bird flies along through the forest, it can't really see these fibers very well, and it hits the net, falls right in. A male black-throated blue warbler. We're just getting a small snapshot of their life cycle. But through the knowledge that we've acquired, as well as other banding stations, breeding bird surveys, and then studies also of their survivorship, these are all things that are helping us piece together the puzzle of how climate change might be impacting these birds.
Included in that puzzle, habitat loss and changes in the food web.
For us, the biggest change we've seen is in migration arrival timing. So warmer temperatures, particularly in the spring.
That means bugs and berries can emerge before birds arrive, worsening an already alarming trend. In 2019, the journal Science reported that North America is seeing 3 billion fewer birds compared to 50 years ago.
So this is a magnolia warbler. It is a bird that breeds in spruce trees in dense forests.
This little one doesn't seem to mind being measured and weighed.
This is a young bird that is headed south for the first time.
Dalton releases the birds quickly so they can resume migration with minimal disruption. Humans can help make their journey easier, even in a changing climate, says Dalton.
My biggest recommendation is planting native plants. Birds that have moved through have evolved to depend on native plants. What we do to impact birds here impacts those same birds wherever they go.
Manomet is also monitoring local coastal health. Mike Molnar is director of the Coastal Zone Initiative.
Warmer, saltier waters are having an impact on the plankton species out there, which are the base of the food web. There was some research that found that since the 90s, the productivity level of plankton in the Gulf is 1/3 of what it used to be.
Also in trouble, salt marshes, which deliver nutrients to birds and fish, filter pollution, and protect against erosion.
We've had 11 inches of sea level rise here off the Cape since 1928. It's forecast to be 1.5 feet sea level rise by 2050 and up to 6 feet of sea level rise by 2100. So salt marshes are getting pinched from the wet side, so they're getting pushed inland, they're getting drowned, and it's causing a lot of different issues.
Including critically impacting shorebirds, among them least terns, roseate terns, and whimbrels.
Eastern Massachusetts is a great example of that, particularly Cape Cod and the Outer Cape, where up to maybe 100,000 shorebirds all the way from July through November pass through.
Manomet conservation biologist Alan Neidel studies whimbrels. He says their favorite food is the fiddler crab found in abundance on the Cape.
As we see marshes degrade on the Cape, there might not be the appropriate sort of habitat to support whimbrel populations as well as all the other wildlife.
Whimbrels need to eat a lot. They migrate from Massachusetts to the coast of South America.
That flight could take 4 days nonstop.
That means no resting, eating, or drinking. Whimbrels can shrink some of their internal organs to create room for fat and the expansion of other organs, including chest muscles and the heart.
They're basically carrying everything that they can with them and basically burning fat reserves.
To collect data, Neidel and his colleagues equip some whimbrels with lightweight satellite transmitters.
Between the last 20 years or so, we've had maybe a 50% decline. There are accounts of upwards of 700 birds during peak migration around the turn of the century, but now we're only getting 200 or 300 birds. They're relying on coastal, water-based habitats that are also a very prized resource for people. So someone might not realize when they're out on a beach next to a flock of staging shorebirds roosting at high tide, that's the only place those birds can be, that there's a sense of obligation to share that resource.
Evan Dalton of the Banding Lab tells us that climate change can actually help some birds thrive. For example, the Carolina wren, a common backyard bird, was almost unheard of in our area back in the 1960s. Their population increased because of the warmer weather. Still ahead, following the fish to cleaner waters.